Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about something that sounds almost too good to be true, that it sounds like a scam, but stick around to see how I plan on living a 4-hour workweek lifestyle as a physical therapist. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jin. I'm a second-year DPT student. Be sure to check out my channel if you're interested in physical therapy and DPT school related contents. Alright, a quick disclaimer before we begin though. My intention with this video is to not give you guys a step-by-step process that's been proven to work. I wanted to share some of the amazing, very applicable principles I have learned from this book so we can maximize efficiency and live a more fulfilling life as a physical therapist and as human beings. So in our profession, it almost seems like we're set up for failure because of how many patients we have to see a day and the quality of care downgrading because of how much emphasis is put on productivity in a lot of these PT mills and a lot of outpatient clinics, unfortunately. Burnout stories from working physical therapists are so common in online communities and social media that it's not even surprising anymore. People say it's just part of our profession, but I think it's really messed up to normalize burnouts to that extreme for a particular profession, especially for our profession as physical therapists. Alright, so enough about the problem. If you have worked or observed at a PT clinic before or a PT mill where it's like a factory and they just bring in patients after patients and have PTs see 2 to 3 patients at a time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about yet, the whole gist of the problem is too many patients because more money, PTs get burnt out, quality of care decreases, PTs not happy, patients not happy, but PT mills happy because more money. So one of the big things I learned from this book is how effective outsourcing can be when it comes to creating an automation process. Let me explain what I mean by that. With outsourcing, we're delegating tasks to individuals and professionals that makes sense to time-wise and financially to delegate tasks to. Now, when we do that, we can create this whole process of automation where we can improve our efficiency because things are automated and decrease the likelihood of burnouts. In this book specifically, Tim talks about outsourcing day-to-day tasks to his virtual assistants where he gives them a set of rules to follow in terms of replying to emails, setting up meetings, and the day-to-day tasks that can be delegated to them so Tim, the author Tim Ferris, can spend most of his time doing what he does best and what he's trained to do the best. In applying this concept to physical therapy and to our profession, I don't think we spend enough time and effort in trying to create a system that can be more automated so we can maximize our efficiency and decrease the burnouts. One great example of trying to eliminate things and time spent in things that aren't in our expertise is documentation. If we spend way too much time on documentation, or if the system's set up so we have to spend a lot of time on documentation, we don't get to spend enough time with our patients, meaning we can't provide that quality care to our patients the way we would be able to if the system or the process it is set up correctly. When you graduate PT school, you don't say, wow, I finally get to document all these cases and start typing away. No, you're more likely to say, wow, I get to finally work with these patients and help change their lives. Obviously, I think documentation is very important. I think it's important to cover your butts, and I think it's important to be aware of legal consequences that you may face if you don't document properly. However, I just think it's one of those things where we can problem solve to maximize what we do best and what we are trained to do for 3 years in school, and that's providing skilled care for these patients, not documenting. So I don't mean to hate on documentation. I just think it's one area in our profession where it can use some work on in order to create a better flowing, more smooth, automated process so we can really do what matters the most, and that's providing good care to our patients. All right, another principle that I want to talk about is Pareto's law. 20% of your input determines 80% of the output is what Tim talks about in this book. So this is basically saying only 20% of the clothes you have in your closet is what you wear 80% of the time you go out. 80% of the quality time you think you spend with your friends, only 20% of your friends help make up that 80%. So 20% input determines 80% output. So this really applies to physical therapy students and PTs that have a side hustle going on, and I understand it's very hard to act on because you want to create as many revenue streams as possible for your passive income. But just remember, 20% of your time and your effort that you spend on creating these revenue streams make up for the 80% of the income that you bring in. So what I'm trying to say with this is it's important to dig deep on what you do best, that 20%, and focus in on that, and that will create majority, almost all of your income. And this concept should apply to PT students as well. I feel like I don't study enough, or I can study more for essentially every exam that I take in PT school, but remember, 20%, 80%, right? So if you study 25 hours in total for an exam, you can essentially really focus and spend 5 hours, which is 20% of those 25 hours, studying for the exam, and boom, you have 20 hours that you have, and you should be passing the exam because 80% is passing, right? So it all comes down to efficiency, and the number of hours don't matter as much as the efficiency. And speaking of side hustles, now we can talk about online contents. This is from one of the best chapters in the book, Income Autopilot. Tim suggests in order to create a niche, we need to identify a skill that's interesting and that I would pay to learn and become an expert in that skill. There's millions of niche out there already in our PT industry, from ACL mastermind groups to online business consulting for solo practitioners that wants to set up a cash-based clinic, to telehealth groups. Just remember, we don't have to be experts in these areas in order to sell your online product. You just have to know a little more and be able to offer more value than the people that are trying to purchase your product. Our field is constantly evolving, and there's research coming out as we speak. So if you're interested in the clinical side of things, great. Start learning more and build a foundation so you can start selling your online product. If you're interested in tying physical therapy with other professions like business or accounting or whatever it is, great. You're a dual threat now. So what I'm trying to say with this is I think you can contribute a lot to our profession if you build your audience, build your knowledge, build your platform, and sell your product so we can learn from each other, and you can create a passive income revenue that will go a long way. So I think there's many different ways that we can work smarter and more efficiently so that we can enjoy the meaningful things in our lives, whatever that may be for you. And I think this book helped me a lot in finding ways to structure my life in a way that can set me up for success later when I'm working as a physical therapist. So it definitely gave me a lot of good ideas. I highly recommend this book, and I just wanted to share these things with you guys today. And of course, I'm very interested in seeing what you guys think, so please comment down below on what you think, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.